holidays may interfere.
Yeah, exactly. And there are many holidays in the fall and winter time because, what else are you going to do in the fall and winter time? So we are live on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We are now live on Facebook.
We went
live. What?
We went live on YouTube first for once.
Yeah, I know.
Whoa! YouTube doing some work behind the scenes.
Technically, we were live on Twitter first, or X ?
Jury's still out on that one, but yeah.
And I can't get LinkedIn or Twitch to work, so we're live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube today.
Well, one of those is the most important place to be live in.
Yeah, exactly. Because on YouTube, if you chat with us, then you can enter. Well, chatting enters you. Speaking of which, do you have Nightbot open?
Yep. Okay. Don't worry. I already thought about this.
Good. Chatting with us on YouTube enters you to win free creds. Woo, woo, woo. And we will pull 2 winners during a live stream. And each winner will get 100 creds. So chat with us. Ask us questions. Ask the developers questions. Ask us how our day is going. Say hey. Say happy December 1st, which scares me a little bit, but
time keeps advancing, it turns out.
Yeah, it does. But anyway, I'm Sophia because I haven't actually said who I am yet. I'm Sophia. I'm a Kong employee / 3 ants in a trench coat.
Only 3.
100 ants in a trench coat?
Don't let the camera lie. She's actually just like this tall.
Yeah. And I am the host of our weekly Friday live streams.
It's as weekly as we are. Office, it's gonna happen, but
yeah,
that's we're getting our time off. Y'all, we're tired. Let us sleep.
And who are you? What's your name?
I'm Adrian. Yeah, I'm that one CM, if you can't remember. After all of this time, still can't remember. I'm Adrian. I am the community manager. If you are on our Discord server, you may come across me quite a bit. I'm there hanging out and also just like reading your guys' feedback and making sure it gets back to the right team. So thank you for all that, especially with the updates coming in. We really appreciate that, and we're trying to get to everything you suggest to us as quickly as we can.
Yes, thank you. And we also have a couple guests with us today. We have Mike. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I would be happy to. Thanks for having me here. Before I even introduce myself, though, I've just got to say I'm kind of shocked you guys don't have like an official like Kongregarian, like Kong employee.
We have said congregant before, but that it's been kind of like, it's kind of been half used for like employees and half used for like people in our community. So we haven't really settled on a nomenclature yet.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if we can add anything here today, we can progress that forward. But yeah.
Yeah.
We've always called our community, we call them Majorians.
Mojo. Ooh.
So we've had that name. So anyways, yeah, I'm Mike Levine. Thrilled to be here. Been a fan of Kongregate forever. Been making games for ever and ever. I started at LucasArts in the 90s. You can see the gray in my beard. So I'll be playing Gandalf today. And I'm done a lot over my career and currently running this company, Mystic Moose, which we are creating this really cool game, Mojo Melee, which we're going to show off and talk more about today. And yeah, Jeff is here from our dev team, who is invisible, but go ahead, Jeff.
Sorry about that. I don't have a camera today. I'm Jeff. I've been helping Mike make games for a long time now. And yeah, I'm here to show off the game.
Woo-hoo. Awesome. Thank you.
And I am here to definitely play the game and not fanboy and ask a bunch of questions about what LucasArts projects he worked on, because that was a large part of my childhood.
Talk about that too. And you know, if anyone does come on like our Discord server, they already have like, you're gonna know Jeff, because Jeff is like the man. He knows if you want to know about this game, Jeff's gonna be the guy to go to.
Yep.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's what I always say about Adrian.
I feel so honored.
I know.
My presence was acknowledged in a positive way.
The first
I want to know.
compliment.
I want to know. Let's just get this out of the way. What was your favorite LucasArts game?
Oh man, that's gonna be hard.
Hopefully it was there when I was. It was made.
Yeah.
Did you make the
Battlefront.
game?
Well, because like I remember having like really fond memories of Dark Forces 2 and then Jedi. How did that work again? It was Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight, and then Jedi Knight 2. Like I remember playing a lot of those too.
It's funny you're mentioning this, and I'll just give them a plug because I've been talking to the guys. The remake just came out for Dark Forces 1. And that's on Steam. The guys, I think it's Night Dive or something, they remade it. And it looks obviously a lot better than the originals because they've up-resed everything. But yeah, I worked on that, and that was some people forget about that one. Then Dark Forces 2, I was in charge of all the cinematics, all that crazy video stuff. Yeah,
Oh my god, that was some of my favorite stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I remember like getting that game and like just kind of loving the mechanics and stuff, and then like getting to those like full-on cinematics things, being like, this is so cool.
And it was the first live-action Star Wars that had been shot at the time, really, since like forever. And it was the first digital lightsabers ever made. So I'm patting myself on the back there. All right. Now let's get to the present.
Yeah.
So we have some updates on our platform. I mean, like we have some new games like we always do, but we actually have some more updates also. So as many of you probably noticed, the homepage was updated like a few weeks ago, and now earlier this week, we also have some updates to the games pages. So you should go check that out. And we also have a blog that like is talking about all the different things. If you want me to send y'all that, I already sent you a link to our Facebook page because you've been asking. Thank you for asking. And also, Adrian, apparently you need to turn your mic down more.
Okay. I don't know what's going on today, but I'll do that real quick. Oh, I found out what's going on today. My gain got bumped. It's way higher.
Yeah, because earlier I was like, Adrian turned down his mic, and then later on it was like, wait, Adrian, how do you suddenly get louder?
I always get confused because she's generally telling me to shut up, but it turned out this time it was a technical issue, not a personality issue.
Wow. You know what? It's great how much you talk, because then I don't have to as much.
I'll take it.
He has a voice made for radio, I'll tell you that much. That's what I like to say.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take that as well.
It's a compliment.
I know. It's Adrian Compliment Day. That's December 1st. Mark it on your calendars.
It's going to be my month.
Yeah. Additionally, we also did a Q&A blog and video with the Mojo Melee devs. So if you want to check that out after the stream today, you should go check those out. Yes, they're very fun. And I had a really great time like getting to know the devs back when we did that. And so I was like really excited to get to live stream this game, especially, I mean, honestly, Adrian and Francisco were both kind of fighting over who would get to play today. And it just so happened that Adrian was the one that was like available today at this time. So he won that.
Again, December is just my month. So yeah, that's a great start to the month. I'm really, really excited to stream this game. This is one of the games. There are games that hit our site, and then I'll play for a bit. But like we're getting new games all the time, right? Like so, I'm always playing bits of games, and this is one of the ones that like I played for a bit and then kept playing, and now it's just part of my regular rotation of things I do. It's so good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's awesome. Thank you. We didn't pay him to say that.
No.
I know. Sometimes people are like, is this sponsored? No, we play games that like look fun that we can get the devs on to come play with us.
Nope, I just get really excited easily.
Now I just really want you to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things I love about this game. Maybe we can talk about it a bit more because I actually hope it's going to come up. Because like I'm going to be doing a new account because this is Adrian 2 as opposed to my other account, as we've talked about before. So we'll be going right from the beginning. But what I love about how you have the game balanced so far is I live for that feeling of picking a win off of someone who is obviously several tiers more advanced than I am. Like the game is balanced around the fact that if you play smart with a beginner, you can still win, and it's great.
I love that you're saying this, by the way. And again, like this is part of our, because we're always, you get comments online and people come into it and they just sometimes assume games are, oh, this is pay to win, and they see guys with like different characters that they have, and it's like, oh, that's why I lost. And we always like saying like, like if you actually put in your time, like you can win with those early teams. Because we've really tried. Like as you're moving up, your stats aren't boosting, so you really have a chance against anybody.
Which was funny because I saw there's that part where you can level up characters, and I didn't realize that's for like the collection stuff. And so when I saw that, it's like, oh, these guys just must have stronger characters than I do. And it was actually your community manager on your Discord corrected my understanding, and then I realized, oh no, I just need to play better. It turns out.
Get good.
Get good, yeah, pretty much.
So some of our newest games that we just had added to the platform are Trader of Stories, Armor Blitz, and we have like a bunch. So usually I would like give a little bit more, but I also want to actually start playing the game. But Trader of Stories, so there's like a few different chapters. Chapter 3 is up. Armor Blitz, In Space, Tiny Jukebox, Specters of the Sun, Shoot and Sew, which if you are into Chef's Last Stand, Vampire Survivor, that type of game, you'll like Shoot and Sew. Specifically,
if you're a fan of Brotato, like I am,
thank you. Yeah.
It's a very interesting reinterpretation of like Brotato's core game loop, and like I loved it. Francisco's another person who loves Brotato, so like we were talking about how great it is. Like another good game on the site.
Yeah.
Another game that did not pay me to say that. I just get excited. I realize now maybe I need to start like prefacing these things.
And Snowball. And then we also have the updated game, which was just updated a couple days ago, which is Grow Defense. And I just was like playing that one like yesterday, I think. And it's fun. I'm making a TikTok for it, so be prepared.
That's always a good sign.
Yes. All right. Shall we start playing Mojo Melee?
Yeah. So originally, I actually had it queued up to play the quick tutorial. And then at some point, I managed to click a button and advance it. So we're here at the main menu already, and we're just going to we'll just walk through the first game because this is just going to be a nice little beginner account. So yeah, I'm just going to jump right into it with the team it starts you off with. Because it had put me into a match while we were talking, and I actually had to exit that first match because I was like, "Oh, wait, I don't want to play the first match without you guys."
Yeah, we try to get people right into the game. We actually used to have a longer handheld tutorial, and we just listen to our community, which we always do, and we want to get people into the game as fast as they can.
And I always really appreciate when a game like gives you the option, and like this is a harder genre just to like get people into quickly. So definitely respecting that.
You can play, we can talk. But yeah,
all
I
right.
mean, the thing too about it is that was tricky for us with this is that people have played auto chess games and auto battlers, and sort of the first wave of them were very similar, in how they played, and ours is similar, but it's different. So like we were a little worried that people are going to jump into it and not understand, like, oh, they'll just assume it's like the other games, and like things like spell stones. And that's one thing, as you'll notice as you play through this, we introduced spell stones after a couple matches. So we tried to like build that up a little bit more, whereas before we were kind of throwing everything at you. So we think that works
I-
better. But
I
there
think
are
I was your
subtle
worst.
differences to our games than the traditional. Sorry.
I think I was your worst case scenario because I played a lot of Underlords when it was new. Really, really liked that game, and so I came in with that exact mentality, trying to like assuming a lot of similarities. And my first couple of games, I was a bit confused. But as I played more and learned these differences, like putting the stones on things, like how you're starting with a fixed team of 5, but you're only getting certain amounts of them each turn. That you're merging stuff on the field as opposed to like on your like all these like little differences. Kind of like once I understood them, I'm like, wow, yeah, actually it speeds the game up and like lets you just focus on the interesting choices you can make.
And like stepping back, if I can, maybe to give people context about why we made the game like this. First of all, we're huge fans of the genre. In 2017, we actually made this game with Phil Tippett. It was Apple's AR game of the day. It was an augmented reality game, and it was called Hollow Grid Monster Battle. And this was before, right, Dota Underlords. And so we sort of feel like we sort of maybe pre-invented it, or we're definitely interested. Our game was like chess, just like this, but it was sort of turn at a time, right? Like I did a turn, you did a turn. So when we saw Dota 2 and TFT and all these games come out, we were kind of like, okay, this is how it's evolving. This is cool. But when we decided to sort of make Mojo Melee, right, and this is a web browser game and it's also coming out on mobile, we looked at the current games and, especially on mobile, these matches can, on those other games, they can take 30 to 40 minutes, right? And so we wanted something, whether you're playing on the go or in your browser, that you could just have quicker matches. Like that's sort of where gaming is moving towards, at least in some respects. Like people don't have as much time, right? So if you want to, and what Adrian is showing here, by the way, we have different game modes. So this is how you start in the duel mode, where you're just playing someone one-on-one, first to win 3 matches. And you've got a new champion here. But after you win a few duels, then you unlock melee mode. And that's where you're playing with 8 players. And it's sort of more the classic looking. It's still locked for you. Jeff can show it.
Yeah, I just wanted to show a little bit of which again, another thing I think is interesting. I like that. Yeah, you start in the duel mode. You kind of have to learn how that works, and later in the game you unlock something a little more familiar, where it's 8 people at once and it takes a bit longer. But
and
it looks fun.
Another thing we brought to it is sort of bringing in that free-to-play progression into it, battle pass, rank progress, that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're at the very beginning. You can't edit your team.
I can't even edit yet. Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay.
After the next match.
Third match, actually.
The other big thing that changed in these games, probably the 2 biggest features, one, the spell stones, which we'll see in a minute. But the other biggest difference we have in this game is that you're not playing from a shared deck. You're making your own team ahead of time, right? And then going in and playing against someone else's team. And that creates like a whole different strategy dynamic, sort of like you have to understand the other characters, even if you don't have them, in terms of what they're going to do. And so that was a big change, but we really wanted to we thought combining sort of elements of deck building with this game was gave it a more collectible feel to it, I guess. And that's really why we went that direction.
And yeah, that's definitely something that I have enjoyed about this game, that you can build a team, play a match, because they don't take that long, and get feedback honestly, these guys aren't synergizing the way I thought they would, and just kind of make those edits and play one more, and then eventually you kind of get into that just one more match mentality, and then it's 40 minutes later and your boss is wondering where that report was. That didn't happen last week.
Yeah. When did that happen to you? That sounds a little specific.
No, it's happened to a friend.
That's work. He was doing homework. No, but I mean, it is true. Again, you're saying all the things I usually say, so it's great. It's because again,
not paid.
Have those direct synergies like some of the other games, where you're just put these 2 have our synergies are subtle, and there's actually more of them, but you have to sort of play with them to learn them. It's ooh, if I use, Jeff could go off about all the different synergies, but like I've just learned so much watching our tournaments and the players. Like every time that happens, I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. Like if you use that combo, that meta with that spellstone, sort of in this tactic, all these new sort of synergies pop up in metas.
Yeah, like, that's one of the things I like about it, like the subtlety as far as the synergies. Like, it's not just a specific this and this and like it, like just a mathematical like boost or something. It's more like, well, this guy is pushing stuff away, and so like I want to make sure I'm using it in a list where I want to keep stuff like at range as opposed to in melee, because that was an issue with one of my first lists. I put a bunch of melee guys with the Rhino character, and all of a sudden was pushing stuff out of the pile, and I'm like, wait, no, I wanted that there.
Yeah, I mean, we've been, we're always listening to our community feedback. We're always balancing it. If things are too OP or something, we'll make adjustments, and which players sometimes love and hate, of course. Like, wait, that's my thing. Don't take my belief. But yeah, like we have a new season coming out next Friday, and there's going to be new spellstones added and some really big new features, because like we're not done. We plan on adding more to this, more game modes over time, etc. But the thing with like what we were talking about with the teams, right, in this game is because it's not a shared deck, because anytime we add one new element, even now there's like thousands of new combinations, right, that can affect. So it's hard for us to balance, but it's cool on the gameplay side because it just adds so much more meta, for lack of a better word, variety.
Yeah. And oh no, Sophia, go.
I was going to change the subject a little bit, so if you had something else you wanted to say, Adrian, go ahead.
No, all I was just going to add is quite a diverse meta, and I don't know if that's just a lot of people like me who are new to the game and like trying different things out, or if it's just like there are that many options in the meta. But I haven't seen like for example, one specific strategy used against me repeatedly, which is great in these kind of games. You want to just want that variety. I want to lose in different ways, please.
So we haven't really had a conspiracy theory in a while, but I noticed one pop up about Mojo lately. And
Can't wait.
and by may have, I mean I definitely did kind of fuel the fire here a little bit.
Oh, good.
With the name of the live stream. So I was just trying to be cute because it's, an auto chess game, which is a specific type of genre. But I was like, Checkmate, because it's called auto chess is the name of the genre. But some people were like, wait, this isn't a chess game. I'm confused. So I was wondering if you could give us a little bit of a description, like, of what an auto chess game is, and why it's called that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, to people's credit, right? It's a fairly new genre, so not like, and it was like had this explosion in 2019, I think, and there's like, but then it's sort of like, imploded a little too, and I think like TFT and a few other games really ruled the genre. So a lot of people like come to it, and if they haven't seen it before and they hear chess, they're just a little bit confused, right? Because it sort of has elements, but it's not really quote unquote classic chess, of course, but it has a lot in common with it. I'll just talk about the commonalities and why it's called that, and then explain how the game works really. But like the reason it's like that is because just like chess, right, all these different, let's call them pieces or units that we're putting on the board have different characteristics and abilities, right? And just like in chess, like we were just talking about, how you use them together, right, against the enemies has a big factor in how you're playing. Now, the auto part to this, right, is kind of, I think, where it's very different than chess. And that's like I was saying at the beginning, that the early iteration we made, the Hollow Grid game, was more like chess, right? Because it was turn at a time. But the sort of advancement here is like you there's a strategy phase, right? A preparation phase, which you've been watching Adrian play, where that's where, and if people have played autobattlers, right, which is probably a bigger genre in some ways, like it's very similar, right? In that,
especially in our community,
there's a
like
strategy
autobattle
phase where you're deciding what you want to place down and spending your gold and leveling up, and you've got a time pressure to do that in. And then there's the battle phase where you really kind of kick back and get to see how your strategy played out and kind of watch this cool, battle and effects going on, and then rinse, repeat. Like, and what the difference here, I think, in these games, this genre versus like a RPG auto battler or something, or something that's more PvE, is this is more PvP esports tournament focus, right? Like it's more about matches and sort of, when we show Melee, you'll see like it's a round robin tournament that you're progressing through, and other modes that we may add later, similar kind of feel to it, where like just constantly sort of trying to progress up the ladder. So it's less about moving through a world in these, although we have different arenas all the time, and we're gonna eventually have different arenas to unlock, but it's more about that kind of esports, I think, tournament aspect.
Yeah.
And to just, maybe my understanding isn't, I got the spellstones, great. Is it complete? But my understanding of it was originally a mod for Dota 2, right? Yep. There was a mod for Dota 2 called autochess that became really popular, like you had mentioned. I remember watching streamers play it, especially card game streamers. And then like it broke off into the autochess team made a standalone, and Underlords, and then TFT, as you mentioned. And so I kind of like to explain it like a bit as like, well, why do we call the genre roguelike? It's going back to a game called Rogue. Yeah. And so like same thing with autochess. Why is it called that? Well, it's based on a mod called autochess. So you got to go back to that guy and ask him, really.
You're totally right. Yeah, no, if people like can Google it, it's actually a great like sort of history of how the genre started. And I want to say like the autochess game was actually the Dota 2 guys, and then they broke off.
Yes.
And then made autochess, but yeah, so and really like it was crazy. Like within 6 months, all of these games came out. Like it was like a land rush, and so it was almost too many at once. But TFT, I think really people don't really realize this. Teamfight Tactics is Riot's like second biggest title. Wow. Behind League of Legends, and it's incredibly popular in China.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people know of Teamfight Tactics, but I just don't think they have the word autochess associated with it. So a lot of times when I explain it's just Teamfight Tactics, but like quick battles, it's like that's easier for people to understand. Also, just because I like the history around this a little bit, I think it's hilarious that it's like a genre that was made from a mod inside of a game that spawned a genre from a mod. Because Dota was a mod of Worldcraft 3, right? And so like it's like a mod inside of a mod that made a genre.
That's a great point. And that's so typical too. It's like, although it's usually like a mod out of a game, but you're right. It sort of doubled up on it there.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Just observations from my weird little brain.
Speaking of observations from your weird little brain, wow, this is a segue. If you have any other observations, just to the community from your weird little brains, make sure that you chat with us.
Is this about me rolling for credit?
Yes.
All right. Just wanted to make sure
you chat with us so that you can enter to win credits, which we're about to roll for because it is that time.
I'm using a Mojo as a take in this situation. What is your opinion of that, Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff, give some tips there.
Yeah, because I got these two squishy dudes, and I'm like, man, my best thing to like take some heat right now is the Mojo, which feels a bit like it's not exactly its preferred role.
Sorry, what was the question? You were a little quiet there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
my question is,
Adrian, for me too.
Oh, that's funny.
It's
I
probably,
turned it down too much.
You've muted him. He was just looking for some strategy tips, Jeff, and on feedback on his strategy there, putting the Mojo up at the front.
Ooh, don't
That's
do that.
usually not done.
Usually not done, but at the time, all I had was these two, and this is a 3-star
I was just
Mojo.
gonna
So
say,
I was,
yeah, he's a 3-star, so looks can be deceiving.
Yeah, but
Oh.
I would put. You see that Brooker right down there? Put
Yeah,
him
you
up
think-
front.
yeah. I did not have the points for it at the time, or I would have done that. I mean, we're still winning off of it. It'll be fine. I'm gonna just keep
Another
this if
thing
I
that's
lose it.
different about our game, by the way, what we're showing here is those ghosted characters you saw on the screen.
Yeah.
So that's basically where your opponent had his characters in his last round, and that's like, you know, in Melee, you weren't even necessarily playing him, but we do that because of the spell stones, because which we haven't talked about much, but there's sort of 3 categories of spell stones. One of them is a defensive spell stone, and you put those on the other side of the board where you're kind of trying to guess, right, where the opponent is. It's a little bit of a poker bluff game going on, right? It's like, did he move him? Did he not move him? Do you want to waste the resources? Because if you can hit, your opponent on the other side with like a meteor 3-star spell, you're going to do some massive damage. But if you miss them, you've just wasted a lot of resources and gold.
But God, it's so satisfying when that meteor hits. It's just so satisfying.
I've taken
and I actually
games with that. It can be devastating if you level it up.
That's why you kind of want to move your characters and keep them guessing.
Well, I really like that you guys did the ghost thing too, not just for the spell stones, but also just for like my memory. Like a lot of times, like I'm thinking about my next strategy, or I'm playing this at work, and I'm suddenly getting Slack messages from my manager because I haven't gotten a report in. And so like I'll get distracted, I'll come back to the match, and if it wasn't for because it's automated in the middle, right? So sometimes I'm not giving it my full attention, and there's no way I would remember where they had him placed, and I'm gonna want to move my dudes around. So for all of those with small brains, thank you very much.
We've heard that before. It's a great game to play like at work, because you can you're doing the strategy, then the battle comes, you're like, okay, let me get back to the
Yep. I really hope my manager L is not watching right now.
You have rewards if you want to collect them in your rank progress up there. That's that thing in the top center that's glowing.
I will collect my rewards
if you want
just as soon as I give out rewards to our audience for watching the stream. Now, unfortunately, I just realized we are once again in a situation where Nightbot is not working. I think maybe we need to check the permissions in YouTube. I think maybe we might have changed something, but we can do what we did last time.
Yeah.
And I will just find a names from a random list. So actually, maybe this is a good time to transition to Jeff's screen.
Yeah.
While I do this.
Adrian, you'll have to stop sharing yours first.
I'm on it.
Alrighty.
Let me just get everyone's names.
Right, that was really weird. Right when you closed out and stopped sharing your screen, my computer popped up a random error message from an application that I didn't realize I was running.
Oh, good. Just another day and another stream and everything being just a little bit chaotic.
I mean, what is a Kongregate live stream without chaos?
I feel like when Francisco's here, it's not this chaotic. I can't tell if I'm causing this or if this is happening to me.
Having done several of these with other companies, it's not just you guys. It's technology.
Awesome.
Trying to make you feel better. The technology.
I appreciate it.
They always fight. That's why people who trust AI, I'm like, yeah, you haven't worked with technology long enough.
All right. Get everyone's names in. Feel free to start. Okay. Actually, I think I have all of the people here, so I will quickly share my screen to show that I haven't. Oh,
stop sharing.
We got.
Oh,
sorry. Apologies.
Okay. There you go.
All right. Let me move this over to this tab. This is just so everything is as legit and legal as we can keep it. I'm going to share my screen. These are the names that I saw in the chat real quick right there. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone.
All
Just
right.
checking again real
I
quick.
think there was one person that I don't see there, but maybe maybe they're like a Kongployee and not just a congregant.
Nope, you should probably tell me because I think I just missed them.
Thaddeus de Padua Masonke.
Okay.
Sorry if I mispronounced your username. Let me know.
All right, Thaddeus. All right. Let's pick a random name. It's Thaddeus!
There you go.
Good thing we got you in at the last minute. All right. So please let us know your Kongregate username in the chat, and I will record that, and I'll get you your 100 creds just as soon as the stream is over.
Yes.
Right.
And that's the other thing is that if you don't give us your username, we have to re-roll because we can't give you creds without a Kongregate username. You know, like. If you
And they're also non-transferable. Like we're not doing that whole rigmarole again.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for creds. We'll keep an eye out for Thaddeus's username. And Jeff, can we see the game again? I just really want to see more of this game. I really like it. I also want to see because like I've been using the starter dudes for quite a while, and so like I really kind of want to see some of the more fun toys that you got.
You have to ask really nicely since you asked Jeff to share
Please.
and then to stop sharing and then to share again.
Please, I am so sorry with my flip-floppiness nature, but Nightbot is Tom just didn't set this thing up correctly. Dang it, Tom.
Oh my gosh.
It's not even here.
Everyone wondering, Tom did not do it.
No. That's a callback to our last stream. Go and watch it.
You see Jeff here has some very advanced stuff. He's got like cool skins, which you can unlock in the game, and new characters like the platypus, which is his name's Varen Moster, Poison. All characters have special abilities, if we didn't say that. And you can see here he's playing Melee, right? Which is what we were talking about. This is with 8 players and more of a round robin format where it gets broken into 2 groups and then there's a finals. If you don't make it to the finals, you can still spectate the other matches. Yeah, Jeff, feel free to add anything else. Oh, one other thing. The snowman that he's showing. So we're in our new season, as I said, there's some pretty big features. Yeah, and we're basically about to unleash an entire avatar system for the Mojos. So think like Little Big Planet, but for the Mojos, with just endless costumes and parts, and you'll be able to take these apart and mix and match and eventually tint them. And so, yeah, the snowman is one of those that you see there. And actually, am I allowed to say this? Hopefully I can. But if people if people use Amazon and Amazon Prime Gaming, you can also go there and get a free. We have a deal where you can get a free version of the snowman.
Dude, I'm getting that.
Hope
That snowman's adorable. I already said that earlier, though.
I to Kongregate and play, just to be clear.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You can't
Because
play on Amazon. You just get the thing, and then you go.
Yeah, that is one of the reasons we are leading them in gaming right now. Is they don't have any games on the site. They really just aren't trying at this point.
So one of the things that we were talking about earlier before the stream is that your oh god, I can't remember the word. Progress is yes, I can't talk.
Shared between. There you go.
Well,
I start talking and then I can't remember the words that I was about to say. It's just a thing.
Well, I don't know if this was it, but I wanted to say this anyways about how we wired it up. So users can play, they can log in with an existing Mojo account if they've played before on mobile or whatever, or you can just go in with a new account. But either way, it's basically going to link it to your Kongregate account. And so when you come back in, you'll be automatically linked with Kongregate. Next time you open the game through Kongregate, you'll automatically log in.
That. What he said.
Yeah, and the game is cross-play. So when the mobile is out, back and forth. Oh yeah, same account, same progress, status, all that stuff.
Yeah, you'll
That's
be able to play
exciting.
with anybody on PC, on Android, and eventually on
Yeah, it's
iOS.
crossplay too. Yeah. you're
Oh
playing-
wow.
Everybody plays
So,
together.
can I ask
Cool.
a question about what do these particular spell stones do? Because I haven't
Oh.
seen them or used these ones. They look fun.
This is Mojo Synthesis. This makes as soon as the round starts, each of the allies will gain more energy right at the start of the round. So all these guys are going to start out with 80% energy as soon as this fires. Boom. But he hit me with a vine patch, so I'm kind of stuck there.
Oh no! I was gonna say like that makes that hippo thing so much more useful all of a sudden. Because my
Yes.
biggest problem trying to make him useful is I can't get the ability off to have him heal, and so he just ends up dying. I love that.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you're using the camera too, Jeff, because so few people even realize it's in there. So when you're watching the matches, if you go into settings, you'll see you can zoom in, you can rotate, and just
See?
makes fun to watch. Yeah,
I actually had no idea.
Dude, I lost.
power feature. You lost?
I lost. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey Adrian, do you want to start a timer
I got
and then we'll
Yes.
re-roll if they don't give us their username by the
I'm
time?
gonna just mark. How about we'll do 5 more minutes? Wait, we're getting to the end of the streams. Maybe do 3 more minutes so that like someone has a chance to get their username to us as well. So I'm gonna do 3 minutes from now. Cool.
Okay. So for Thaddeus, if you are still watching, you have 3 minutes to give us your Kongregate username. And if we don't get it within that time period, we're going to have to void that and then re-roll for a new winner so that we can get another Kongregate username to give creds to.
Ooh, I'm just like looking at your lists now.
Oh, you can edit the team. Yeah, there you go. This is good to show.
I'll say that was one bit of having played like Underlords before this and coming in. The first time I had Dawn Striker hit like my backline, I'm like, I already know how to handle this situation. And it was funny because there was someone in our Discord who was like, oh, this is really unbalanced. They can just jump and do this to me. I'm like, here's what you do. Here's how you handle it. You just bait them into the corner and beat the crap out of them and then go for the rest of their team.
Cross
Now, the one-
experience that helps.
The one that is absolutely killing me, I just can't figure out a good counter to it yet. I'm curious what you guys know about. Is I keep getting people bring the Moss Mojo in Mojo Portal, and will just teleport that thing in my backline, and then immediately pop off its ability. I lose all of my energy. They gain energy, and it's like it just goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
Like,
He has a stun ability and the Mojo Portal. Here, I'll show that on screen.
yes.
So yeah, basically he's whoever you were playing against was taking their Moss Mojo, teleporting them to your side of the arena, and they probably had it all the way leveled up to 95%. So they were able to fire their special ability for the Moss Mojo, which is here, where it stuns everybody for 2, 4, or 6 seconds. So
And they lose energy. That hurts.
How do you combat that?
the best way to combat that one is, well, it's a little strategic. That's a little more complicated than most, but it's a lot like the meteorite. It does.
Okay.
So the meteorite has a range, and so does the Mojo. That's teleporting using Mojo Portal. What you would do is just try to move your characters to a different side of the board, try to confuse them, and spread them out. That way, the effect won't reach all of your characters. They will rush into him first, the Moss Mojo, the enemy, because that's the closest one to them anyway.
And that I do see that. Yeah, I mean, there's so pros and cons to whether like you're keeping your team tight together versus spreading them out, and it has to be based on who you're battling too.
And like, yeah, I figured that out with like counterplaying the meteor, but like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I forgot that has a range. It's a big range, but it is a range. So okay, cool. The next time I've been calling it Moss Bombed. Next time I get Moss Bombed, I'll give that a try.
We're gonna use. You may have seen in there that we have friends in this game, and we have like an invite system. So if you wanna, once you unlock Melee, you want to get 8 friends, 7 other friends. You can send them a code. You all can come into the same match. Oh yeah.
That is really good to know.
And you can do
Also
that with
from
duels.
our
All you gotta
community.
do is be friends with the person. You can invite them to a duel.
We are at 3 minutes, and I did not see a message from Thaddeus, unfortunately, so I am going to re-roll.
Okay.
Would you mind if I had the stream back here, Jeff?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Your show.
All right. Let me figure out which of my mini windows that I hid this in. You know, I thought I was going to be more prepared when I asked Jeff to stop streaming, but in classic me, you know, ways of going about things, I was not. All right. All right. So I have removed Thaddeus. We're going to... Name is Allie Hater. I believe I know your username, but just in case, because that's always helpful, could you please write your Kongregate username in the chat, and I will get you your 100 creds just as soon as we're done.
There we go.
And I will very quickly get back over to Riverside so we can get back to the game.
By the way, so I think DHA like left in the middle of the stream earlier, and then they just came back and they were like, "Hi, I'm back," and everyone was like, "Oh, hi, DHA." I said, "Hi, back. I'm Dad." And
yes,
apparently someone was like, never thought I'd see Kongregate send a dad joke.
No, that's totally on brand. You're like, no, you guys don't realize it's just dad humor all the way up that back here.
Yeah, I like have to go to HR every other week for them to tell me to stop making so many puns and dad jokes. They're like, quit it. Not really. They just do it back.
So I have a little more question too about like, so what is a Mojo? What is this world? What's kind of going on here?
Yeah, thank you for asking that.
I'm glad you're good at this.
More compliments.
You might have done this before, I think. I'm glad you asked. No, so yeah, this whole world, you know, coming from LucasArts and several others on our team, like that's really important to us. We wanted to build a world with a narrative and story, and you know, people should definitely go check out the cinematic if they haven't seen it on our YouTube channel. But so Planet Mojo is the story of this weird planet that is a lot like Earth, but it's not. And these clans that exist there have existed for centuries. They resemble animals that we have on Earth, but they've evolved differently for reasons that maybe, you know, you may understand later. But essentially at the beginning of our story, this weird object strikes the planet, and it sort of rallies all of these clans to sort of go out and figure out what's going on, whether it's part of this prophecy they've had forever. And what they meet at the beginning of the story are these creatures, the Mojos, which are, they find out from these ancients, as we call them, these giant kind of ant-like creatures who foretell the prophecy, essentially. But the Mojos are these plant-based creatures, really, that the planet gives birth to help fight against this threat that's brewing. And so sort of in this first phase chapter that we're in, you're really not seeing the threat. You're just sort of battling other clans out in the wild, and the Mojos are practicing and building their powers. And over time, you know, this is our first game, and we plan to have other games in this world that sort of will, and this game as well, will tell the story and progress it over time. And yeah, this weird, it's really a story about nature and technology. And
relevant nowadays, very relevant.
Forge, yeah, and when we were putting this together, everyone was like crazy and talking about metaverses and all that stuff. And, you know, we just wanted to make a world that's sort of still tied to the real world. And we've done stuff like, you know, planting trees. And this game has not a heavy-handed, but a message at least about, you know, what we're all going through, I guess, and not to be completely succumb to technology, even though we love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot more going on than I'd realized. Like, I was picking up like a little bit of it because like each of the characters I believe has like a quote or a flavor text of some kind to it. So I was like, gleaming enough from that there was more going on than I was aware of. I need to check out that cinematic.
I'm gonna give you some alpha right here. Never before said. We're gonna be adding VO very soon and story elements to really bring that out more. So
That's
stay
awesome.
tuned.
Nice.
Excited. When we did the Q&A, I was really excited about that like whole story part of it. So that's really exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're excited.
Yeah. And another, like, how did you guys end up landing on like this aesthetic? Like, it feels like there's kind of like, especially like in the clothes that the different characters are wearing, it feels like there's a lot of different inspirations, like you said, from the real world. And I'm just kind of curious your process for that.
Boy, well, I wish Eric, our art director, was here to talk, because the art team's just incredible. And, you know, people on our team like Eric and Jim Rice, who worked at EA as a lead character modeler for like over 15 years, and with me at Lucas before that. These guys are just incredible. And we had an incredible concept artist from China who really just came up with just some incredible ideas. And we really wanted these to sort of, I don't know, we wanted them to feel real and feel like they had history behind them. Like you see General Docs there, and you can go on our Medium and read like bios about these. We actually do have more information about them and their history and the clans and stuff. So we first always start with that and sort of the who are they just on paper written. And then from that, really like what do we want these to look like? And with games like this too, it's really important. Like, and we took inspiration, not just in the look, but like companies like Blizzard and Riot, just they were amazing guides about like how important it is to have different character silhouettes. And like, because there's a lot of craziness going on here at the same time, right? You really want to be able to see what's going on and have the characters be distinct just by sort of squinting at them. And so that was important too. And just making them feel like they were, real characters in a world. And that was kind of our goalposts.
Yeah. And another one of the things that we were talking about was how, and something we were talking about earlier during the stream too, is like how you're kind of trying to mesh the like people who are beginners with the people who are like, a lot further along in the game. And kind of on that same note and along with the art, how did you kind of like decide kind of between the like cute and whimsical nature of this game along with the like more kind of hardcore and competitive aspects and like bringing that into like the art and the story?
That's a great question too. I mean, I don't want to like over reference like AAA giant things, but you think of something like Star Wars, which again, I worked on quite a few Star Wars games.
you might have some experience on that topic.
And those kind of sort of stories, right, where there is really serious stuff, but then there's like totally cute stuff too, like sort of, and maybe I remember when the Ewoks debuted, and people either loved them or hated them, but it created some reaction, right? But I think there was always like that kind of balance of having those things, and like for us, that's kind of what we like too. Is like the first Star Wars movie was really funny, right? You think about it, it's like probably the funniest of all of them, in my opinion. Like it just balanced that kind of action and comedicness, and so we wanted to have a little of that. The Mojos are kind of just these weird little sort of mixes between, I don't know, people have compared them to Groot and Baby Yoda and things like that, but they're gonna keep changing and evolving and whatnot. So we just wanted a dynamic texture, I guess, the palette in here of all kinds of different things. And the Mojos in particular, it's a very new thing that we were creating. And if people look online, like there's thousands of them, how they can look and different looks.
Oh, wow.
Bringing all of those into the game over time.
And like, I got to give your art team tons of credit, because this is like not particularly an art style that like I naturally am like drawn to. I actually think that it's really cool that it's a story about nature versus technology, because in a lot of times, and in my own like preference for gaming, I tend to lean on the technology side. I really love sci-fi. I love robots, like that kind of aesthetic. And so when I first came into this, and I was so excited when this came on the site because I loved auto chess. I hadn't heard anything new in a while. And when I first got on, it's like, okay, well, I'm excited for the game, but it's not my cup of tea for the aesthetic. And man, I fell in love with the game design, and then over time, the art really grew on me. And like, I really like the little cute mojos and like how each is like a different like kind of plant and how it's like integrated into their design as well.
Yeah.
Just they're really fun.
We tried. No, we appreciate it. I have definitely some champions that are my favorites. Like Jeff was playing with the platypus there. I love that little guy. And, they have cool little backstories too if you go read them and you're into that kind of stuff. And like I said, we'll integrate more of that into the game over time. But like, just sort of you start to get a feel for them as characters and where they came from. I love that part too.
And so, like, I've talked to your community manager a bit about, like, which one is your favorite as far as, like, strategy and stuff. But I haven't gotten a chance to, like, which ones are your guys' favorites for, like your favorite character in the story? Not, like, outside of mechanics.
Well, Brooke is kind of like, if you see the cinematic, he's sort of like our lead character in a way. And he's definitely one of my favorites. So if you haven't seen the cinematic, definitely check that out. And he speaks in that and kind of sets the scene, I guess. He's definitely one of my favorites. Jeff is showing a fairly new champion, Rackmore, Fortum, who is a vulture and a summoner. And I don't know if when he unleashes his special ability, which he's getting close to, it's pretty cool. He has these little sort of mini skeletons.
Oh, they're like little bird skeletons. Oh yeah, right. Because I was
them up, you get 3 full of them. So we had some funny little comedic sort of slapstick stuff we did with those that I love. And he's a very dour but funny character. Sort of a Vincent Price type, if you will.
Got it. All right.
Yeah, I think
Jeff,
once
you have
we
like
have the voices, the characters are just going to really come out even more. A lot of this is in my head because I know them.
Jeff, do you have like a favorite just like character? Like just because of like their design or their backstory or stuff?
He's muted. He's playing.
Is he muted? Oh, I was like, man, he is really trying to win this one.
Too. I'm sorry.
Really?
Oh my gosh! Oh no!
Oh gosh! I thought you were just really focused on your melee here.
I kind of was. Yeah, my favorite right now is Rackmore, but I do like too. That was my previous favorite, and Haley.
I want to ask about Haley.
Cute.
Meerkat. She kind of comes from the more urban sections of Planet Mojo. Kind of lived on the street and sort of grew up developing these techniques, almost like a pickpocket. But then, if you read about her bio, there's more to her.
Oh my god, I love this. Do we maybe?
Oh my gosh, it's already 11.
A roll in, because I also have some companions to show. Yeah, time flies real fast when you're playing this game. Just ask my manager and that report she never got.
That report.
Did Jeff stop sharing?
Can I stop sharing now?
Yeah, I want to make sure it's on the screen again.
There you go.
As much as I wanted to see the outcome of that.
That's all right. If we have time before the match ends, I'll flip back.
Okay. Let me bring this back up, and also let me make sure that no one else has joined the conversation. So you have a good bit of time here to write something in chat. I haven't looked yet, so I'm looking now. But you still have a chance, still have time. I think I pretty much have everyone that I'm seeing.
I think so too. Do you have?
No, let me drag this out.
MRYM Fatima.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I saw everyone else on there. You have XIV.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna roll it.
Roll it.
And Next Respect, which sounds a lot like another name I know, Next Raptor. So I'm really curious about that. But
and we'll see what username they give us, and if it's the exact same username, I think we might need to re-roll.
Yeah, just maybe. Just maybe.
Yeah. So let us know.
In the meantime, while we're figuring that out, I can show we're still kind of behind catching up because of all the time. So we actually have all the holiday off time, And so I have a Who's That Companion to share from, this would have been just the other week. So let's get a tab up here.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I forgot to mention earlier that we have a new companion, a new Who's That Companion happening right now.
Yes, the newest one is happening right now,
Yeah.
but we are still a week behind, and so I have more that are happening here. So I'm just going to bring up the Discord real quick.
Yeah.
For our guests and our first-time viewers, every other week we add a new companion to the site. They're a little cute character that you can collect by unlocking the badge of the day. And to kind of celebrate the incoming companion, we share an outline of it in our Discord and give you the opportunity to draw in what you think this companion is going to be. So this week we got from Caleron.
Hey, Adrian, just wondering. I'm seeing Google right now.
Has it opened it in a different tab? Shoot.
Okay. Also, should we set a timer for oh,
100%.
Next Respect says, wait, never mind. Next Respect says I don't have a Kongregate account. Can I donate?
You can make one.
The
You
blooper
can
reel
either-
for this episode is going to be amazing.
I know,
It's
right?
honestly not even the worst.
You can either make a Kongregate account and let us know the username, or you can let us know to just re-roll.
Yeah. Non-transferable because it gets into some weirdness there. We have to re-roll and keep it random each time.
Yeah. So, shall we give them like 2 minutes to let us know or something, and then?
Yep. We'll go through the Who's That Companion and, see if they get one in the meantime. And then we can go back and watch the end of Jeff's Melee if it's still going on.
It is not, unfortunately.
Or the next one. We'll see what happens. Anyway, we have this outline of a cute character with a nice, beautiful, smiling face. If you guys have any ideas of what this might be, feel free to share it with us. Okay. Any better ideas or?
I want to say SpongeBob, but I know that ain't it.
Yeah. We would get in trouble for that one. Well, I'll share some of the ones that we got from the community. So this is from user Caleron. This is Glampy, a decorated tent, adorned for the holidays and making all of the other tents jealous.
Cute.
Someone picked up on what it most likely is, but they put a nice little twist on it. So this is a badge of the day calendar companion, which is great. These badges are the ones that you have to do to unlock the companion. So it's kind of like our earlier conversation. We got a mod inside a mod going on here. Love it.
There you go. So a lot of people are guessing that it's Adrian, which interesting.
How did they know? As always, this calendar, badge of the day calendar came from Amanda, who also included Slime Time, or Slim Tim, because the E's are in fact silent.
Slim Tim.
We have from Kickity Kickball. I really liked this one. They did a little eShop baggie. I think it's like the Nintendo eShop symbol. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes.
And in reality, it was our new companion, Friday, who was released on a Monday. But today is Friday.
All the people that said calendar were correct.
Yes. Please check out the Who's That Companion channel of our Discord, where the next outline, which I'll bring up here, is available. And once again, it's super-duper difficult, and I bet you can't guess what it is just from looking at the outline.
Oh boy.
Cough, cough. But that's us for the week with Who's That Companion.
Oh, I'm not supposed to guess. Okay.
I mean, you can guess.
I was gonna say a rooster.
There you go.
No, definitely not.
Okay. That was my
Nope.
One person set a
effort.
skunk on fire.
Okay.
Yeah. See that's closer. That's closer.
I can already tell you have a very creative community.
Well, thank you very much. We're quite proud of the people we have gathered through the years.
Somebody said it's Adrian in bird form, and someone else said a lizard.
I am just nothing if not a bird and a lizard in a trench coat, so
Yeah.
you're not that far off.
At least
So
you're
it
not on
Keep it
fire.
looks like we're gonna be
Not yet.
rolling.
All right, I
Yeah.
will bring up the random name roll. That happens. It's okay.
And Next Respect says that they're the younger brother. So there you go.
Oh, that's fair. All right. Sharing real quick.
But that they don't have a username yet.
All right. Man, this is the hardest it's ever been to just give someone 100 creds. Picking a random name from who's left. XIV000. And I know your username, and so I know that we are set and ready to go. Thank you very much.
All right, we officially have 2 winners. All right,
There
do
we
we
go.
have any last words from Mike or Jeff? Anything you want to talk about Mojo Melee before we go?
Thanks for having us here, first and foremost, and
fun.
all the great questions. Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was just saying it was fun.
Yes, it's fun. Yeah, try out the game. We always listen to feedback, try to respond, and we have this big update coming out in a week. So you got a week to get ready.
So excited.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for coming on the stream, but also thank you for bringing this game to our site. It is so much fun. It has been eating up so much of my time, and my manager is
Thanks for
so
having us.
upset.
Yeah. Hopefully we
You
can
need me
have
to
you
talk to your
again.
boss. I'm right.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
always here for
I
you.
might. Yeah,
always
we might need to. We need to work something out here.
Yeah.
It's research. I promise.
Right.
It is. It is. It's product testing, as Francisco says.
Oh, see, this is why Francisco is he's the higher tier gamer than I am. I got to admit it.
I
All
can see a PvP match forming here. So
Ooh.
Oh, that would be interesting because Francisco's whole thing is he's really smart and figures games out really quickly and plays them really well, and my whole thing is I find something really dumb and try to have as much fun with it as I can.
I don't know.
A match for the ages.
This game though might be where
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, and Francisco also loves this game. Like
Yeah.
I said, we were kind of fighting for it. So maybe we should get
sensing
like
a
a
match.
melee going on
I'm
sometime.
sensing
I
it.
think so.
Let
Yeah.
us know. We're here to help.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. If y'all want to check out more about Mojo Melee, one, go play the game. We also have the video or the blog that you can check out where Mike and someone else, I can't remember who, but
Ted.
someone else was also
Ted.
there. Ted, thank you. Mike and Ted were both talking about the game a little bit more. So go check those out. And we actually will be here next week because it's not a holiday. So join us next week for another live stream. And thank you all for joining us today.